What's happening, guys? So this is going to be a continuation of a video I started last year called Things to Know When Buying a DR-Z. Since then, I've done a bunch of new mods to Xena that I want to show you guys. Things that have made her much more capable than even she was back then. Capable of longer distances, capable of harsher terrain. So I kind of want to key you guys in on a few of those things, and so you can see what I've done and maybe do some of them yourselves, and also give you some information on whether you want to buy a DR-Z. I've also got some special guests that I'm going to have joining us in this video, so we will show them in a little bit. Today we're out at the Grand Canyon North Rim. So as you guys can see, I've made some pretty major upgrades to Xena. We've got the Wolfman E12 saddlebags, which are awesome, means I don't have to carry a backpack anymore. Got the D-Flex handguards, definitely going to be helpful in a crash. As some of you guys noticed, I broke the front brake lever in half. I actually kind of like it though. I'm going to leave it the way it is. Another thing that I did, DeVol skid plate, matching with the DeVol radiator guards. When we were riding with Ride-A-Map out in St. George, that skid plate got knocked probably 6 or 7 times. So I'm really glad I got rid of that and have the don't have the plastic one anymore. Another thing from the last video, I was talking about the D606 front tire and was afraid that it was going to add some high-speed wobble on the roads. Completely untrue. It rides great on the road. Again, it does have some road vibration, but it's not really a big problem. Runs great, and even better off-road. Talking about cornering gripping, front end doesn't seem to wash out nearly as much as it did with the TKC80 on the front. It's running great. The next thing that I did was I added the Trailtech Voyager. That replaced the original dash, and what that has, it has a GPS, and there's a little micro SD card that pops in the side there. And what you can do with that is go on Google Maps and create a track and then save it as a GPX file and put it on that SD card, and then you can switch through the modes and it would actually give you the map of your track that you're going to take. Another couple of features that I really like about it is that it has an altimeter, tells us where we're, the height that we're riding at. Definitely the trip, since I still don't have a fuel gauge. And also engine temperature and outside temperature, which is great, as well as a compass to tell you which way you're riding out on the trails. I'm going to be moving it from here to over here. I had this put on because I didn't want to mess with the wiring. I'm just not confident enough to do the wiring by myself and would end up with a bike not running. But the guy that put it on saw my old GPS mount, so he put it on this side of the bars. I'm just going to move it over. It's one screw, and then it won't be blocking my key, making it nearly impossible to put in there. And I'll also have more room for my third-person GoPro mount. A little bit more information on the Wolfman E12 bags. These things are awesome. They're adjustable. So right now I have a load of junk in them, so they're fully expanded. But you can see there's no chance it's ever going to touch the muffler and burn. But what you would do is, if you had less stuff, you know, say you just were going on a day trip, you could actually cinch this and it would pull them up real close to the bike, so they wouldn't be hanging out. But just so you guys know, this has not made any change in the bike's handling. I don't even notice that they're there. I don't even notice these sitting on the seat. And that brings me to the piece de resistance of the upgrades that I did. This is the Seat Concepts tall seat for the DR-Z400S. Now, I'll give you a profile view here. Do you see the awesomeness? Look at how wide this is right here. Can you see that? And then it still does get skinny up at the front, so when you're hard cornering or going up those huge rocks in Moab, you can get up on the front of the seat and really grip with your legs real tight. But this seat is exactly what you need. I've ridden with the stock seat. I've ridden with the, the Adventure Track seat by Saddlemen. I really like the Adventure Track seat if you're just going to be doing short trail rides. The Adventure Track seat is actually a little bit better because it's grippier. You don't slide around as much. But honestly, I do a lot more long distance riding on Xena, so the wider butt is awesome. You're still gonna get your butt's still gonna hurt. It's still a dirt bike seat, but that is like 1,000 times better than what I had on before. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and cut into another little video right on the Grand Canyon right there. So this is the Immix racing rack that I have mounted on the tail of the bike, along with the RotoPax Lox Mount. So what that effectively does is this guy goes on there like so, and then you can twist this handle and it'll lock down with this nice little lock and key set. So nobody can steal your gas while you're sleeping. But I haven't tested it out yet. We're going to be riding this weekend, and I'm going to fill it up and just take it on a short ride to see how it changes the handling of the bike. It's going to be about 24-ish pounds. It's a 3-gallon RotoPax. So what it has done is doubled my mileage, as I said. And it fits perfectly flush on the rack. But what I'm going to do, if I can get this off, what I'm going to end up doing is getting a little bit of either rubber or foam of some sort and just lining the bottom of that rack so that there's a barrier between the RotoPax and the actual rack so it doesn't rub. And I think that'll take care of it. So you guys can see the rack that I put on. My goal for this whole experience was to make Xena overnight trail ready. So what that rack is going to do is going to hold that RotoPax along with the Lox handle, and that is a 3-gallon RotoPax. Xena has a 2.6-gallon tank. Effectively doubled my mileage and didn't have to change the tank, which is awesome. So that was my goal, and the cool part about these Wolfman bags as well is that they are part of a system. So when you get the duffel, which would hold your clothes or tent or whatever, they actually already have these little guys here set up to hold on to that, and these rings as well. So I haven't made that purchase yet, but I will. Another mod that was done by Eddie Cisnos. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, Eddie. But Eddie is a DRZ god. He has worked on many supermotos to do supermoto racing. He's well known in the community, and I think I just completely hammered his name, so I'm really sorry. But what he did was he did the automatic cam chain tensioner to manual cam chain tensioner mod for me. So now when I'm riding, I don't hear any chain slap at all from the cam chain. I mean, it wasn't ridiculously bad, but I could definitely hear it and definitely did notice it, ever since that I've had the bike. And he actually has a special way of doing it where he doesn't actually change the cam chain tensioner at all. He just converts the automatic into a manual, and that was $60. So that was totally worth it. So that's done. That's kind of like the DRZ's doohickey. for the KLR. You know, you got to adjust the doohickey or do whatever it is. The cam chain tensioner is the DR-Z's doohickey. But at this point, I've got a couple of special guests I'd like to introduce. We're going to have Mr. Everride with his DR-Z the Black Widow. Take it away, Mr. Everride.
As a budget-conscious adventure rider, the Suzuki DR-Z400 is, bar none, the best bang-for-the-buck dual-sport motorcycle ever created. That is a big claim, especially when stacking it up against worthy foes like the Kawasaki KLR650 and the Yamaha YZ450, WR450, or WR250R. It's not the best off-road, it's not the fastest, and it's not the best on-road. But dollar for dollar, it is the best do-it-all motorcycle in the world, and here's why. You can score a decent used DR-Z with low miles in good condition for under $2,000. Parts are plentiful and cheap, the maintenance schedule is nice and long, repairs are easy, and it's not a gas-guzzling, tire-shredding attention hog like many other race-oriented dirt bikes in the 400-plus cc range. 50 miles per gallon is pretty typical. Power delivery is smooth and predictable, perfect for 90% of what the average rider will actually do on their dual sport motorcycles. It's a middleweight but reliable and doesn't feel squirrely on the freeway. It can handle anything from a highway cruise to a crawling, chugging hill climb to a rip through the desert whoops without an issue. The ability to cruise long distance on the highway makes it more versatile than a WR450. The ability to shred whoops and get more than 3 feet of air without braking makes it better in the dirt than a KLR650. And the price makes it better deal than anything else on the road or off. So like any other dirt bike, you can mod it to your preference, but unlike many other bikes, it's so cheap and parts are so plentiful that the money you save on the initial purchase of the bike will translate into a bike modded for you, by you, and still come in for less money than a stock competitor. Realistically, $2,500 could have you riding an extremely capable dirt machine, ranged adventure tourer, or wheelie happy supermoto. And because it's cheap, you won't mind dropping it, covering it with stickers, breaking non-essential parts, or working on it yourself. It's an adventure bike for adventures, not looking pretty in the garage. And that is why the Suzuki DR-Z400 is, when it comes to the money, the best dual sport motorcycle in the world.
Thank you, Mr. Everride. That was excellent. We're going to have our second guest, all the way from Australia, the Motovlogger. Take it away, the Motovlogger.
So you're thinking about buying a DRZ, are you? I'm going to give you some reasons why I purchased my DRZ, things that I want to do to the bike, things I've done to the bike, and things that most people that do purchase a DRZ tend to do when they first get the bike. Now, first reason, guys, most of you probably would maybe be in the same boat perhaps, I don't know. But I got mine due to the money factor. The bike itself, brand new, where am I going here, son? Brand new, $8,000. So you can't go wrong with that. I mean, brand new bike. Yeah, you got to spend a little bit of money to do it up and that, but you still got to do that to any bike you buy anyways. Also, Kangaroo, I also bought the bike because it had some pretty good reports, reviews and all that kind of stuff, and everyone spoke quite highly of it, saying it's quite indestructible, it's a low maintenance bike, and it's pretty much bulletproof, which so far, guys, it has been. It's been a great little bike, it's done everything it needs to do, it's great. Now, modifications that I've done to the bike, I'll get up top here and I'll show you a look at what I've done. First of all, you'll notice, bigger tank, 17 litre tank. Now, I got that purely for the fact that I do long distance riding, long as in last trip I went on was about just under 3,000 kilometres, so it's quite a decent trip, so I needed that tank. Second thing I did was remove the original tail light and indicators, because as you probably know, it comes down to about there. It's a big bulky unit and it doesn't look very nice at all. Forgive me, guys, I'm a little bit out of breath, very unfit. Second thing I changed was your light. Obviously I picked the wrong one, it's a little bit small for the unit, but I'll fix that down the track. Now, things that most DRZ owners will change out, the first few things that they will do when they first get the bike is remove the tail light. It is one thing just about everyone that I know that has ever bought one of these has done that first, and the handlebars. The stock handlebars are okay, however, for me personally, they were a little bit low. I didn't like them, so I got myself I got myself some CR High Rise Pro Taper. They're very, very nice. I still need the bar risers. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get those still because it's still a little bit low for my liking. And bark busters is normally the first thing that people will change. This and this. The next thing that I would recommend changing, it doesn't make too much of a difference, but your headlight. The assembly itself weighs just under 5 kilos. 5 kilos just for the assembly. This one here, 800 grams. Done. Held on by rubber struts. Beautiful. Now, issues with the bike. I really don't have too many. Before I go too much further too, I'm getting the FMF Power Core exhaust for that, so I mean I haven't really needed it at all. I honestly don't need it. The stock exhaust is quite good, it's quite loud, but I want to push out a bit more horsepower. I mean, it's not going to be a great deal more, but any little bit I can squeeze out of this bike would be great. But in saying that, it's definitely got enough power for my liking and for what I use it for. I love it, I do. It's a great bike. Like I said, the service intervals on this are a lot longer. You don't have to service as much. I mean, regular services are going to keep a bike running nice, but it's great. It's easy to service. It's just a good bike. I really enjoy riding it. It's great to look after. It's easy to look after. That's one of the main factors. It is easy to look after. It's great. But look, guys, it's like the old saying, this is why fix something that ain't broke. This bike has been the same for the last 14 years. It's reliable, it's bulletproof, and it's been tried and tested, and it just survives. It's a great bike. It's indestructible. Well, to an extent it's indestructible. I mean, as long as you maintain it and look after it, these things will last for years, absolute years. Great bikes. But yeah, guys, that's all I really got to say. I just thought I'd pop my 2 cents in, and that's it. So if you're looking to buy one of these and you're not 100% sure, take it from someone. I've owned it for nearly a year now, and I don't think I'd get anything else. Even if you gave me 10 grand tomorrow and said go get whatever you want, in all honesty, I'd probably buy one of these again.
Thank you very much, Laz. Appreciate that. I appreciate both you and Everride taking time out of your days to do a little clip for me. I appreciate that. And I have one last mod that is extremely important on the DRZ. And you will see why after you see this.
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I didn't hit hard or anything. The bike did.
You punctured your cover. Oh, shoot.
Yep, I sure did.
What punctured
my cover right here.
Oh, crap. Hey, we got stuff to fix it, though.
So that footage was from our Moab Motovlogger meetup in obviously Moab, Utah. We love Utah. But unfortunately, Arizo 909 took a nasty spill going straight up one of those rock ledges. And what it did was the brake lever, if you can see right in there, right in here, is a very sharp end. So if it gets smacked from there, it'll go right through the clutch case, which is very, very bad. Actually, I think that's the stator case. I think the clutch case is on the other side. But same thing on both sides. From Thumper Talk, you can order case savers. I think they were $60. Don't quote me, but close to that. And really, honestly, they're one of the first things that I should have done to Xena, because riding the trails, you're going to fall down. It's going to happen. I already broke a radiator. You guys know that. Got the radiator guards. So this one I got done before I had it happen, because I knew it was going to happen. And unfortunately, it happened to Brett. But I sent Brett is Ayers, I sent him and bought myself a pair. So we both have them now. And I think Everride already has them on his bike. But yeah, case saver there. And case saver there with a nice little Thumper Talk logo. Worth every penny not to have to try to JB weld your bike on the trail and not have any oil to put back in because all your oil is now on the ground. So I think she looks pretty bad with the D-Flex hand guards, the DeVol radiator guards, and the DeVol skid plate. I mean, yeah, she just looks like a badass enduro machine now, doesn't she? So guys, those are the things that I've done. This has been an add-on video, just kind of an update video on the new things that I've done to Xena. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. You guys can check out more footage and more pictures and talk to me on Facebook. The Facebook is Colorado Dual Sport, all one word. It's linked in the bottom of every video, as well as a rundown of all the mods that I've done to Xena. I'll put all those as well. If you guys see something that you like, you can go ahead and pick them up for your DRZ. And on a last note, I just want to end and say thank you to all of you. You guys have been amazing, and I appreciate the support. And it's very humbling to see that these videos are actually helping people, because that's really what I make them for. Thank you. Thank you all. All right. Hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go ride and find Miss Stacy, who went on ahead, and look at some more of this. Peace out.